Good morning, students. Now today we are going to start our 8th lecture of chapter number 9, that is electromagnetic induction. Okay, and yesterday we have completed the topic of self-induction, and in that we have just solved the coefficient of self-induction. Okay, that is your phi b is equals to Li, and in that same series we have solved about the self-inductance of a plain circular coil and a self-inductance of a current carrying solenoid. Two topics we have discussed. Now we are going to discuss about the next topic, that is the mutual induction. Okay, and I hope the homework which I have given you in yesterday's lecture that you have completed. That one numerical I have just given you in your assignment, and one dimensional formula you have to be calculate and give the answer of inductance. Clear? Now today's topic is mutual inductance. So what is mutual inductance? Yesterday we have discussed about the self-inductance, means it can induce the EMF by their own. Okay, in mutual inductance, in this it will just be induced by the another coil, other circuit. Okay, so if a variable current flows in a circuit or in a coil, the flux linked with the other coil in its vicinity also changes and EMF is included in the second coil or a circuit. This phenomena is called the mutual inductance. What was mutual induction? Okay, so I am just first writing the definition, so it will be make you more clear about this topic. That is, if a variable current flows in a circuit or coil, the flux linked with an other coil in its vicinity also changes and EMF is induced in the second coil or circuit. This phenomena is called mutual induction. Okay, clear? Now when the coil in which the current is varies, that one is called your primary coil, and the coil in which the EMF is induced, that due to the mutual induction, that is your secondary coil. Clear? Now I am just drawing the circuit diagram, so it will be make you to understand more clearly about this. So here is the diagram like this. In the one circuit inductor, a coil is there, a battery is connected, and the key is there. And in another one, the secondary coil in which the EMF has been induced, another the coil is there, and only we have to connect the galvanometer, nothing else, so we can identify either the current or EMF has been induced or not. So this one is your primary coil circuit, this one is a secondary circuit. Here I have just closed the circuit, so current starts to flowing in this. like this way. Okay, so in this also the current starts to move. Galvanometer. Another one I am just be taking. As we starts flowing the current when we have switch off the key. So previously as the current is flowing, that is only the way. So slowly and slowly the current will raise down. Okay, so in this way, in this circuit, the secondary circuit, the direction of the current in this is in opposite way, because here we have decreased the value. Okay, clear? It goes to deflect in another direction. Clear? This is for the when the key is off. So in which the current current is flowing, that is your primary circuit, and the circuit or the coil in which the EMF has been induced, that is your secondary circuit. Clear? Now, as the coil P in primary circuit is connected to the battery and through the coil key K, and in secondary circuit the coil S is connected to the galvanometer G. Now the both coils are placed near to each other. As the key in the primary circuit is pressed, and there is a momentary deflection in the galvanometer G in the secondary circuit, and when the key is released, there is again momentary. Key is released means key is off. Okay, then again there is a momentary deflection in the galvanometer, but in this time in opposite direction. So when the key is kept pressed continuously, the constant current is flows in the primary coil, and there is no deflection in the galvanometer as the key has been pressed constantly for the long time of a period. Okay, for the shorter time, because it was not varying that time, that's why it was not showing any deflection. You know it very well, as we have already studied in our what we can say Wheatstone bills. Now the reason for the above results is that when initially the key is on mad, current flows in a primary coil, magnetic flux is around the coil increases, and flux linked with the secondary coil is also increases, and which induce the current and EMF in the secondary coil. And in the same way, when the key is made off, the magnetic flux through the secondary coil decay, and hence the EMF and the current are induced in secondary coil but in opposite direction. So in both the cases, the induced EMF and the current is such that they opposes the change in the magnetic flux. Okay, and the current is induced in the secondary coil is only when the magnetic field, or we can say magnetic flux of a primary coil, changes due to its current. So this phenomena is also used in the transformer in induction coil. Clear? Okay. So this is about the introduction of mutual inductance. Now moving ahead with our next topic, and our next topic is coefficient of mutual inductance. Coefficient of mutual inductance. So in this we have to, as we have discussed about the coefficient of self inductance, similarly we have discussed about the coefficient of mutual inductance. So if we have just make the position, shape and orientation of a primary coil C1 and take the secondary coil C2. Okay, I am just writing it also. If position, shape and orientation of primary coil C1 and secondary coil C2 remains unchanged and current in coil C1 is I1, then magnetic flux phi2 associated with coil C2 is directly proportional to I1. It means the flux which has been due to the secondary coil is proportional by the current in the first one. So here the phi2 is equals to MI1. Equation number 1. So what is M here, beta? Here M is a constant of proportionality called coefficient of mutual induction, or we can say mutual inductance between the coils. And on which factor it depends, beta? It depends on the number of turns in both the coil, area of the secondary coil, nature of the medium. Clear? Okay. Now in this, if it was changing, okay, so if current in coil C1 changes with time, you know it very well. If the current changes, then what will change? The flux will also be changed. Then the flux phi2 linked with coil C2 also changes. Therefore, induced EMF in coil C2 is, what is the induced EMF of the coil C2 is E2 is equals to minus of d phi 2 upon dt. Okay, and we have to put the value of phi 2 from equation number 1. Then we get E2 is equals to minus m will be the constant, so d I1 upon dt. This will be your equation number 2. Now you know it very well here that the negative sign is there. So this negative sign shows that the direction of the induced EMF in the secondary coil is such that it opposes the variation of a current in a primary coil. Okay, the induced EMF will opposes the variation of a current in the primary coil. Now we are just imagining that if the current in the primary coil is your 1 ampere, then the coefficient of magnetic flux is equals to what? Phi. The flux in the secondary coil. Okay, so numerical value of mutual inductance is always between the two coils. Okay, is equal to the flux linked with the secondary coil when the unit current passes through the coil. Clear? And if we are just taking, if d I1 upon dt is equals to unity, then what will be the value beta? Then we have to take its magnitude form. Then EMF E is equals to M. Clear? So hence we can say the numerical value of mutual inductance is equal to the induced EMF in the secondary coil when there is a unit rate of change in the current in a primary coil. Okay? Now, the SI unit of M means the coefficient of mutual inductance is Weber per ampere, volt second per ampere, or Henry. Mostly we used Henry beta H, and its dimension are, this you have to be calculate by your own. Okay, clear? Get my point? So in this, the like capacitance is having a unit farad, okay, and resistance is having a unit ohm, like that inductance is having a unit Henry. Clear? Okay, moving towards with the next topic, or we can say the last topic of this chapter, that is mutual inductance between the two coaxial solenoids. This is the last topic, mutual inductance between two coaxial solenoids. Okay, now we have to take two coaxial solenoids. So for that, theory we have to be right little bit, so it will define the entire topic. Suppose there are two air core coaxial solenoids S1 and S2. Number of turns in S1 and S2 are N1 and N2, and length and area of cross section of both the coils are L and A. Length will be the L and the area will be the A. L and A respectively. Okay, both the coils are wound in such a way that when current flows in coil S1, it produces magnetic flux which is completely linked with coil S2. Magnetic field at the axis of coil S1 when I1 current flows through it is, the value for the magnetic field is, you know the formula for the solenoid, mu naught N1 upon L into I. So N1 upon L, N upon L is your number of turns per unit length, that is your small n. So mu naught small n I1. We are discussing about the primary coil. Clear? Now in this, when the magnetic flux is associated with the second one, okay, so the magnetic flux associated with S2 due to field B1, N2 phi 2 is equals to what? N2 phi 2, number of turns in the second magnetic flux, okay. So what is the formula of the magnetic flux? This magnetic flux is induced due to the primary coil magnetic field. So B into A. So N2 will be the same and phi 2 will be of B1, area of cross section will be the same, okay. And we have the value of B1 from equation number 1. So we can easily put the value. So here we get B1 mu naught N1 I1 N2 A. So from here we can put the value of N1, that is your N1 upon L. So I am just putting it, mu naught N1 N2 A I1 upon L. Okay, now what is the definition of mutual inductance? So according, equation number 2, okay, according to definition of mutual induction, phi is equals to mi, means phi 2 is equals to mi1. So N2 number of turns we are taking it, phi 2 mi1, equation number 3. So hence mutual inductance. What is the value of mutual inductance when we compare the equation number 2 and equation number 3, this one and this one? So I1 is there, so M will be mu naught N1 N2 A upon L. Here, so M is equals to mu naught N1 N2 L upon A, equation number 4. This is the value of the mutual inductance for the between the two coaxial solenoids. Clear? Okay, this is the value of it. Now by this, our theoretical portion, the derivations, all the topics of this chapter number 9 has been completed. Okay, now we have just today today we have just solved few of the questions, and afterwards tomorrow we will start solve it out the back exercise numerical questions. Okay, so by this our maybe in tomorrow's lecture or in day after tomorrow, within the 2 lectures we will completed this chapter, and from the Monday we have to start the new chapter, that is our chapter number 10. Okay, so in this chapter number 10 I have just told you that the 3 important thing we have to be used, the entire thing which we have studied till chapter number 9, the whole summary of all the 9 chapters we have been used in chapter number 10 about the 3 devices, that is your capacitance, resistance and inductance. Okay, clear? So this we can just solve it out. Okay, now further we are just solve some of the numericals first. So the numerical is here. In the given figure shown, current at some instant in circuit is 1 to 5 ampere. Okay, clear? And is I is equals to 5 ampere, not 1 to 5 ampere. It was misprint. Okay, and is decaying at a rate 10 to the power 3 ampere per second, then find the potential difference VB minus VA. And our diagram is like this. From the point A, here is your resistance of 1 ohm, then we have applied a battery, then a inductor, a coil is there, then the second end B. This is of your 5 millihenry. The current is flowing here. This is of your negative and positive of 15 volt. Clear? So you have to find out the VB minus VA. So in this, first of all, in the solution, what is the range of rate of change of current is there beta given in the question. So the rate of change of current in coil, what is di by dt, rate of change. And just be first carefully read the question. It was decaying beta, so if it was decaying, it will become in the minus form, 3 ampere per second, because it was decaying. It is already mentioned in the question. Okay, so now we have to be calculate the voltage across the resistance, because here 1 ohm resistance is also be connected, so we have to be calculate the voltage across it. Clear? So voltage across resistance R. So what is the formula? Ohm's law, V is equals to IR. So current is of your 5 ampere, resistance is of your 1 ohm, it will be your 5 volt. And it is already given in the question that the battery which is connected, it was of 15 volt of a cell. So the voltage across terminals of cell that was of 15 volt. Now we have to be calculate the voltage across the inductance coil also. So the voltage across inductance coil is equals to what? L di by dt. Okay, so what is the value of L? It was decaying the beta, so its value will be 5 into, here it was given the beta value of L 5 milli, so minus sign is already in the question, and the formula L means inductance, 5 milli means 10 to the power minus 3 Henry, and di by dt is given in the equation of 10 to the power minus 3 in the minus form. Okay, so this minus and minus, it will become plus. 10 to the power minus 3 and plus, it will be cancelled out. So it is only of 5 volt. Clear? Now we have to be find the higher potential. So terminal B is at higher potential. So if it is at higher potential, then we have to find VB minus VA, which is asked in the question. So VB and VA, we have to find it out. So this will be like VB and VA. So it will be your 15. Okay, so 5 volt of your resistance, and then again the 15 volt of your cell, and this one is your minus of your 5 volt of your inductance. So it will be like 15 volt. Clear? So this will be your answer. Okay, simply we have to find VB minus VA. That's it. Clear? Moving ahead with the next numerical. So we will write it down first. The next numerical. So the numerical is an air cooled solenoid of radius 1 centimeter has 100 number of turns. Its length is 60 centimeter. Find self inductance of solenoid. Okay, so it was a simple formula based question, beta. Okay, the radius of a solenoid has been given, number of turns is also be given, its length is given. We have to only calculate the value of the self inductance. So for the solution of this, you know, first of all write the formula, beta, which formula we have to going to use in this question. So the formula for self inductance that we have calculated, mu naught n square A upon L. Now we have to write down the given values which is given in this question. Number of turns are your 100. Length is of 60 centimeters. So in the meter it will be 0.60 meter. Area, it will be your pi r square. So pi 3.14, r is in the centimeter. So in the meter it will be 0.01 square meter square. So I am just putting all the values in the formula. So mu naught value will be beta 4 pi into 10 to the power minus 7, and then n square means 100 square. Then area, I am writing it pi means 3.14 into 0.01 to the square divide by 0.60. Okay, so this you have to be calculate by your own. This calculation you have to be do. It is come in the terms of Henry, beta. Okay, this is the calculation that you have to be do by your own and calculate the value. Okay, so this is about today. I have just be given you two things, that one of the dimensional formula of mutual inductance you have to find, and another is the this numerical calculation portion you have to be done by your own. Simple multiply and divide is there, not a big deal, so you have to be solved by your own. Okay, so by this the examples, all the examples we have solved of this chapter. Now the question which is remaining is only your back exercise question answer. Okay, so the first question I am just be given you for your homework. You will try it, so tomorrow we are going to solve for that. So the first question is of your numerical. I am here writing it. Numerical questions. So the first question is a window of metallic frame of 120 into 50 centimeter is on a wall which is parallel to magnetic meridian. Total resistance of frame is 0.01 ohm. When window is opened at 90 degree, then find the amount of charge flow in the frame. This is the question. This is the numerical, the first numerical, and this you have to be do by your own. You have to try it first better by your own. Okay, and tomorrow we are going to start with the remaining questions. In this, the frame, the length and the breadth of the metallic frame has been given in the question. Okay, and the which is parallel to the magnetic meridian. The total resistance is given of the frame and it was open 90 degree. You have to calculate the amount of charge which is flow in the frame. Okay, so you have to be calculate the value of amount of charge. Clear? You have to find for that. This is about your question, your homework also. Clear? And afterwards the remaining question answer of this chapter, means the numerical question portion of this chapter, we have to go and solve in our tomorrow's class. Okay, clear? So afterwards the chapter number 9 has been completed and we are going to start solve or study about chapter number 10. Okay, and within that you have complete your all the work, pending work, the notes which are pending. Okay, till chapter number 9 you have do your all the work. Clear? Okay, thank you. That's all for today.